Hey, what's up, everybody? Omega, Chris Picardo here, Sal Marasa, the Assassin. We got a lot to go over today. We had the Extreme Rules pay-per-view, which just passed a couple of days ago, and also a new King of the Ring was just crowned. Alright, so we'll start off with talking about Extreme Rules. Personally, I watched every match I liked. I thought it was great. I thought it was two good, strong pay-per-views in a row. I thought they hit two home runs in a row and did really good with this. I don't know. What was your opinions on the pay-per-view as a whole?
I liked it. It was there were some matches that stuck out and some matches that I enjoyed more than others.
Okay, so let's get into the matches. We start off Dean Ambrose and Eric Rowan. They have a hardcore match. Dean Ambrose always puts on a pretty good hardcore match, so that started out pretty good.
And I liked how they went backstage a little bit and they did that whole going in the car and coming back later on. I thought that was not unique, but something that hasn't been done in a while.
In a while, yeah. I thought exactly the same thing. I was like, well, it's not unique, but it's good to see that it's happening again, and right, especially exactly on a pay-per-view like this. I don't usually like Extreme Rules pay-per-views in general, but I thought as far as this one went, it was good for an Extreme Rules pay-per-view. So right. I just want to say that and put that out there. So, I do like hardcore matches, but not really like every match. But this pay-per-view I thought did it well. Then we had the Dolph Ziggler and Sheamus match, which I thought it was a very well put together match. I thought these guys put on a good show together, some good wrestling. I loved the Kiss My Arse idea. I thought it was very Attitude Era, which was cool. What were your opinions?
Yeah, I enjoyed that match. That was one match that I anticipated being a good match, and to me it was predictable. Though I actually knew exactly what was going to happen with Ziggler winning and then Sheamus doing the heel thing.
Were you surprised they showed so much arse in it?
No, I actually thought, I knew they weren't going to do where, like, the whole Vince McMahon pulls whole pants down, his whole ass thing, but, it's exactly what I thought it would happen. Yeah. And I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I thought it was entertaining. The whole thing was entertaining. And the part after the wrestling I thought was entertaining, which usually I'm not into that. Usually I'm more into the wrestling. But the entertainment part of the match was just as good as the wrestling part of the match.
It was. Next
we had the tag team match with Cesaro and Kidd versus New Day. New Day getting booed.
Obviously they're heels now, yes.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, and I'm glad that they got that match boosted up. Well, only because Daniel Bryan and Barrett couldn't happen.
Right.
But that was a good move.
Pre-show.
Right, they weren't on the pre-show, but that was a good move that they decided to change that. And it was a great match, and I enjoyed it.
Thought there was a lot of really good spots in that match.
Definitely.
Cesaro catching a couple people in the air. I remember Tyson Kidd did something through the ropes with the arm. He dragged it and around some kind of submission, which was really cool.
Yeah, this was one of my was my favorite match of the night.
And Kofi acted pretty heelish in this match, and I gotta say I like heel Kofi. He was very cocky. And
like I said, they should have started as heels to begin with. They should have. I mean, I love heels, as everyone knows, but they should have started the New Day as heels.
I think they're looking at the crowd reaction. They were pretty much forced to do it because the crowd is just not digging them as a team. But I think as a heels, they're going to do really good because. They've been getting some good heat, and I like the way they've been acting, very cocky and stuff like that. And they work well together, though. They do work well together in the ring. So I know a lot of people that didn't like this match just strictly because Tyson Kidd and Cesaro didn't retain the titles. So how do you feel about that?
I agree to some point. I think it's that they just made them heels. I think they should have went another month or two being heels before giving them the titles. I think it was too soon.
Well, I think they're doing the opposite with this tag title. That they actually they started doing. We were talking about they started doing the right thing with the U.S. title and the Intercontinental title by putting it on the right people, having them retain it for a while. And it's almost like they're doing the opposite with the tag team title. So they're kind of making it not as important by passing around the tag team title, but giving the other titles to people who are going to be holding it for a while. So
talking about the titles being important though, now with with Daniel Bryan being out and maybe possibly 2 months being out, how important is that IC title now? I think what they need to do is they need to have him forfeit that title over and give it to the new King of the Ring, Barrett, because then that will, I think, make that title important again.
Yeah, that's going to be tough to do because that would be twice in a row that he's had to forfeit the title.
I wouldn't. I mean, I kind of foresaw that happening. Like, again, the reason why he had the world title was because of the fans' reactions, and they gave him the IC title because they didn't want. They wanted to soften the blow that night at WrestleMania. I think that they always knew that he was injury, that he was going to get injured again.
Well, why do you think that is? Do you think it's just a neck surgery, or do you think it's an age issue? Because he is up there in age.
It could be a combination of both. Because with the neck injury and now he's older, so it's gonna bother him more than a younger person.
Part of it too is that he hasn't, since he is getting up there in age, he hasn't really altered his style like a lot of the other older wrestlers. When they get to a certain age, like Stone Cold, all them, they change their style up a little bit because you have to. You can't compete at the same pace, and I think he's at a very extreme fast pace, and I don't know, maybe he needs to think about that.
He needs to come back and lighten up what he does. Definitely, that definitely is a factor. He definitely came back, and he didn't change any of his style.
Maybe some more groundwork and less,
But that's what I'm saying. If he came back with that style, WWE had to know something was going to happen. I mean, we didn't know when, but it happened, and now they're in another bind with that IC title being on him, and he's not even able to defend it.
Yeah. After that, we had Ambrose and Harper actually come back and finish the match, which was really cool. I wasn't sure if they were going to come back on the pay-per-view, or I was even thinking maybe they're going to come back on Monday Night Raw and continue.
That would have been unique.
That would have been unique.
That would have been
so
unique.
I was kind of looking forward to that, but we had that. There was a couple of ECW chants in there and everything like that.
And Ambrose finally gets his pay-per-view win.
Yeah. Now, we know that Seth Rollins was forced to change his finishing move. But did you ever notice, can you tell me what is the difference between Seth Rollins' finishing move and Dean Ambrose's finishing move? Because they're both forward DDTs.
Nothing. I mean, tell me what the difference is of getting your head stomped into the floor than getting a DDT into the floor.
So then we had the Russian chain match with Cena versus Rusev. These two always put on a good match for me. They seem to work well together.
This, I think, was the least entertaining of matches that they've had so far.
Well, I've heard some people saying that they weren't using the chain enough.
They didn't use the chain enough. To me, I thought it was not a great match. I liked how it ended, but the whole match itself wasn't really that great.
Of course, we had the "We Want Lana" chants going on during the match, which was cool. Showing Rusev getting angry at that whole thing.
But how do you think Rusov is going to be without Lana? Do you think he'll still be as big, or do you think it'll hurt him taking Lana away from him?
I think that would hurt, but I like the angle they're going. It kind of reminds me of the Macho Man Miss Elizabeth thing when he was being mean to her and everybody was started to feel bad for her. Good way to put some heat on Rusev, but yeah, I think he doesn't need her. But I think he's at the level that he is now. He has to have her right now until he gets some. But they did announce that the next match is going to be an I Quit match, which
are they just going to keep having matches to use up all their stipulation matches with these guys? I mean, they're using everything.
Well, I don't remember John Cena ever losing.
He's never lost an I Quit match, and maybe it could be his first time losing.
I would like to see him lose this one because I don't want to see him win every match against Rusev. I don't see that happening. That just
eventually they're going to have him lose. Yeah.
But to have him quit, that would be a big thing.
Unless they're waiting up until SummerSlam.
Possibly.
You think they're going to make it that long of a feud from WrestleMania to SummerSlam?
I don't know. I kind of had a feeling that this third one's going to be the last one. Then we had the women's title match. where Naomi, with a new entrance, she's a heel now. Really cool shoes. Did you see those? They were
lighting up. Yeah, those are cool.
To me, in this was a good match, but to me, I don't know. Nikki in particular wasn't memorable to me. Naomi was like the memorable one in this match. So I don't think
that she should have the title. But right now the only thing I see is that she's a filler for Paige, because Paige is gone. Once she comes back, she's gonna get back into the title picture probably to face Nikki at SummerSlam and win the title then.
All right, moving on to the Big Show and Roman Reigns. I loved the Big Show no tables thing. he was just pissing everybody off. No tables. That was really funny.
That was hilarious. Yeah.
Also, him reading off of the notepad that he pulled off of the table. I didn't hear what he said, but he pulled it off the table. Michael Cole, I guess they wrote something on there, and he was like reading it, which was funny.
I don't remember that.
Also, I liked all the 8 and 9 counts in this match, because it was just going to show that these guys are hitting each other hard, that they're out. You don't see that a lot where they're counting to 10. So I don't know. I thought it was a good match. What did you think?
I thought it was decent. I liked the ending of it too. How he put the table on top of him to win the match like that.
Yeah,
that was cool.
I think Roman Reigns is doing a great job.
He is.
I mean, if you're not on the Roman Reigns bandwagon by now, you need to get on, because this kid is amazing. Every match he's in is good. He's doing decent on the mic. I mean, he's not the greatest, but his matches are speaking for himself pretty much, and he's doing a good job. He's putting on
I've liked Roman Reigns ever since he's been in the Shield. I mean, I just don't think he was ready to be champion yet.
Yeah.
I mean, I never had a problem with Roman Reigns.
Yeah, I think every move that they're making with him has been really good so far. Yeah. All right, Randy Orton and Seth Rollins in the cage match. To me, I'm not so crazy about cage matches anymore, because is it just me, or did the cages get smaller? What I don't like about cage matches is it seems like when they take one jump up and they're already almost over.
I think I noticed that on Monday Night Raw. I think I actually mentioned it to my father, who was watching with me, that I thought the cage looked a little smaller.
Yeah, I don't like that, because back in the day it would seem like the guy was down, knocked out, and they would be counting, and the guy would be climbing to get out, and it would take a long time. And now it's like you got to jump up and get the guy really quick, because it takes seconds to get over the thing.
Either that, or just back then they were like going really slow. Now they're more agile, so maybe they figured they could get up there a lot faster.
Yeah, well, to me this match started very slow, but it picked up, and it was a good match. I mean, I think both of them, but
what did you feel about the ending with Kane being so much involved?
I thought it worked out good. Actually, I mean, if I was Kane, I probably would have did the same thing. So that's why, I thought that was good for Kane.
Because I heard a lot of people complaining about that. I had no problem with it.
I thought it was cool that we saw a pedigree from Randy Orton.
Yeah, that was cool.
Shoving it in the face of Triple H and the Authority. And then we saw an RKO, or as we call it, an SKO, which was very confusing. Not only to us, but even to the commentators, because we thought RKO was banned.
Yeah, well, it was banned for Randy Orton to use, not for him to use.
Yeah. So. Overall, it was a pretty decent pay-per-view.
It was.
All right, so now on to Raw. King of the Ring is back, finally. I don't know why they do away with things like this that are so classic.
King of the Ring was a lot of people's favorites. They should have never got rid of it.
Yes. So
plus, it helps talent. It brings fresher matches, and it brings up talent.
Roman Reigns come out and finally challenge Seth Rollins, which I've been waiting for him to do, because it kind of, after WrestleMania, he didn't really touch on the whole Seth Rollins thing, making him lose. So finally he comes out and challenges him. We also had Bray Wyatt come out and avenge his brother.
Yeah, I knew that was going to happen, because 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, I was starting to get tired of it. I was like, what's going on here?
Yeah, I knew Bray Wyatt was going after Ryback after what happened last week.
Yeah. So finally we got something that's coming out.
But I would hope, because I noticed that when Bo Dallas came back, he's starting to grow like facial hair. He's starting to get a little chubbier. I wonder if they're trying to make him
up somehow.
Team up, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe be like a follower or something.
Yeah. I hope they do that.
Yeah. We had the Fandango and Rosa kiss, which was pretty intense. It seemed a little real there.
Well, Adam Rose. Adam Rose.
Oh, Adam Rose.
Adam Rose.
Sorry. And the Fandango, in the Fandango match, yeah. So she kissed Adam Rose. That was a really intense.
I know they
thing.
looked like they were really getting into it.
And Fandango did a really good over the top rope jump, which was really
actually
nice.
for a feud like this so small, I actually enjoyed this feud.
I like these two together, yeah. And I like that they kind of backpedaled with their characters because they realized they made a mistake with them by changing them.
Exactly.
So now they're going back to the original and improving a little bit on them. But yeah, last couple of times I liked the way I liked Fandango's attitude, the way it was going, and Adam Rose is fitting into his character a little bit better.
Yep, exactly.
We had Sandow speak out a little bit. Had Curtis Axel come out. What did you think of his speech?
I thought his speech was amazing. I don't know where they're going with the whole him mimicking people. If that's going to be his gimmick,
yeah.
That he does that with everybody now to get into their heads. I don't know. We'll see. It's going to be interesting to see where Damian Sandow goes from here.
Yeah, definitely. I'm a fan, so let's see where he goes from here. And then we had a pretty good main event, great main event, and then they announced that the next pay-per-view is going to be a triple threat match. So,
right,
we're not
WWE Universe had said that they wanted a triple threat.
Yeah, they said.
They said.
I never
trust those votes either.
But of course, it's another triple threat, which I'm not crazy about triple threats, but this one it makes sense to happen.
Something different.
Yeah. And other than that, anything you want to say about the King of the Ring?
Yeah, I mean the King of the Ring. The matchups were great, but the matches themselves could have been better.
Yes.
We have King Barrett now. He's the new King of the Ring, and I'm happy with that. He's a heel, and he's great on the mic. I think he's going to make the perfect King of the Ring for the next few months.
I agree. I think they might have rushed the King of the Ring matches a little bit too much. I think they should have split it up a little more, like maybe Raw, SmackDown, and then on the WWE Network, and give them more time. But I think Barrett was the right choice, and it's a good payoff because I was like, this guy keeps losing. I mean, he won the match for the King of the Ring, but up until then, he lost how many matches in a row? Right. So at least he's getting some kind of payback for the work that he's put in and everything like that. So. And he fits the look and everything of King of the Ring.
Exactly.
So make sure you check us out next time. Subscribe to Mega Man 2112. Check us out on Twitter. And here's your moment of bliss.
Best tag team champions ever.
Yeah, right, sucker.